Okay, hello. I would like to explain what this is a recap video, and I would like to explain what we did yesterday, Tuesday, the 11th of November, with my 2C1 group. So, what we did was, okay, we came to the lesson plan. Okay, so what we did was we started the lesson with the typical warm-up speaking activity. And what we did was these thought-provoking questions. Well, in fact, we only did one. The first one: should governments prioritize national security over personal freedom? So we had a very nice debate and discussion. And stemming from that discussion, we decided that in the issue, one of the sections of the issue is screen talk. And I was going to suggest Roald Dahl's Tales of the Unexpected, in particular, The Way Out to Heaven, which we will watch in due course. But I suggested, owing to the turn the conversation was taking, I suggested two films. One which was Public Enemy, and the other one that was Minority Report. So we agreed that for next week, for next on-site session, everybody will try to watch Public Enemy, featuring Will Smith and Gene Hackman, uh, evolving around whether we should have cameras, surveillance cameras installed in public places, or whether it's a potential danger. And then in 2 weeks' time, we will discuss Minority Report about, because the conversation took an unexpected turn on whether the legal system is appropriate, whether the severity of the punishment translates into a decrease in the crime rate. So I suggested watching Minority Report because the film is about what can be done, or what would could be done if we could predict the crime before it happened. But for the time being, for next week, we agreed to watch Public Enemy and then to do some activities on it. After that, and in the same way, stemming from the exercises that I had suggested the previous week, from advanced vocabulary in use, I do not remember exactly the units, on ways of walking, and we watched a video. We did the activities, ways of walking, the last day. We did this video, and we answer the questions about the video. The video explains how closely related the way of walking, people's way of walking, how closely related it is to the way they are feeling, and the way their character sometimes, but also their state of mind. And so from there, yesterday we did this. We read the text. I usually leave long-winded texts for home, but this is a very short text, simply with the intention of introducing the vocabulary. I do not like giving vocabulary in boxes and listed a list of words in a box which you have to associate. I don't think this is useful. I prefer to give the vocabulary within a context. So the context makes you understand, in the first place, how the word is used, and in the second place, the situation in which it should be used and the meaning it has within that situation. In this case, we saw words related to movement, and we saw their literal meaning and their figurative meaning. And I said that I had forgotten some of them. For example, I forgot to give you the word stagger, which is the way of walking that somebody who has been drinking has, a drunkard has. But at the same time, it means an unstable period of, for example, when a business has been staggering for some time, it means that it has been through an unstable period. I also introduce waltzing. Allow me if you like. Um, okay, I mean staggering, to stagger. Okay, meaning to walk in an uneven way from side to side as if you had just been drinking, but also at the same time, figuratively, the instability that probably a period of crisis might provoke. We also there were other words that I had forgotten to include in the text, which were, for example, wonder, meaning move around without any specific, in an erratic way. I mean, this is in an, oh, sorry, staggering in an unstable way from side to side. And then uh, other words that we saw were, if my memory serves me well, to waltz, which means to get into a place mm, in a let's say determined and carefree way. So we gave some examples. We used the Youglish as usual to see how people use them, and then okay, we continued with the whole text. We did this exercise, which means, okay, and give me the word in which the narrator expresses this kind of movement, and they had to give me one of those words in bold from the text that might define the whole sentence, or that might contain, condense the whole sentence, because our target is to condense language. I mean, to try to say as much as we can with as little wording as we can. Then I said, then we did the rephrasing. I said I would skip this exercise because unexpectedly I chose an exercise which in a way aligns with the kind of exercises that books usually present, but the reason why is that I wanted them to identify the similarities between the literal and the figurative ways of walking. So if somebody walks unsteadily because unsteadily, I mean, for example, this unsteadily. If somebody walks unsteadily because they have been drinking, uh, something like a business can be going through a period of crisis, and that might provoke instability, which means staggering. I mean, it's a visual way of describing a situation, and it does not require any further explanation because you understand what it means. If I tell you that the business has been staggering during the past few years, for example. So I said that I was going to skip this because here in the handout you have the key below. But we did the rephrasing because the rephrasing is about you have that sentence and you have to know which section of the sentence you have to remove uh, in order to replace it with one of the words that we gave before. Uh, for example, I got that job by chance, even though I hadn't been looking for one, which meant I stumbled into that job. So only that summarizes the whole meaning of the sentence. Everything else can be spared. Uh, okay, okay, and this is more or less what we did yesterday. What we did yesterday. Then I explained that I will record another video if you like, giving you a few, I wouldn't say instructions, guidelines on what to do during the online session, which is, I think that since we have that time at home, it's a very good time to practice POOK. So my intention is practicing POOK exams from other communities. If you like, if we can comment on any of the activities, I asked about that at the end of the class, but we can comment on any activity or any task that you have to do in class if you like. But I think what a better chance to practice POOK than during the online session. Anyway, I would like to add the guidelines for the film. I mean, if you watch the film, what do you have to watch it for? I mean, is there anything that you have to pay attention to? So I would like to watch the film first because I watched it quite a little time ago, and then I will prepare a few questions, a few tasks about the film, which I will upload to the online session for you to watch the film with a view to being capable of answering the questions that I upload, and then we will discuss them in during the on-site session next Tuesday. And I think this is all that I can tell you about the on-site session we had yesterday. I hope that you will find this useful, and as usual, thank you for your attention and see you next Tuesday.